Hello there. It is Friday, December 12th, and this is the afternoon shift. I'm Adam Llorens. Hope everybody out there is having an amazing Friday ahead of this very, very, very cold weekend that's up ahead. But we're hoping to bring you a very warm show here on the afternoon shift that's jam-packed with news, sports, entertainment, events, art, culture, you name it. We've got it right here on the afternoon shift. We also have the world's best executive producer in the whole business. His name is Paul-Millgate. Paul, what's going on, my man? How are you?
You are such a hype man. I really appreciate it.
I tried.
I don't know if I'm the world's best. There might be an award for that someone's definitely won, but I'll take it. I'm definitely the best executive producer of the afternoon shift.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right. I would say maybe
barriers.
you're the best streaming show executive producer in the Twin Cities. How about that?
I don't know if that's true. There's plenty of other good stuff going on around there. But I appreciate the hype.
I don't know who they are if they're out there. You know, maybe if you're out there and you want to compete with Paul-Millgate as being one of the best executive producers in the game, drop us a line. Give us a follow at afternoon shift _Fox9. We'd love to have you see. I say it and Paul delivers it. There it is.
If I was the best, I would have been able to just seamlessly press the button and make that all happen at the same time. But,
no, we
I
appreciate
that. But if you are out there and you would like to wrestle or something for the title, we'll do it.
Wow. All right. That sounds awesome.
We'll do it on the show. It's
Paul,
all about the content.
It's all about the content. And Paul, I know that you're in an exceptional mood today. Paul, if you've been sticking with the afternoon shift for a while now, we're in 160, 170 episodes, something like that. You know that Paul is from Down Under. And for the first time since the show has started, he's going back down under tomorrow.
I am. I'm on a flight at 6 o'clock tomorrow night.
Yep.
And 24 hours later, I'll be in Australia.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, we'll be touching down. We do a little bit of time travel. So we start here on Saturday evening and we arrive on Monday morning. Like we sort of leap forward, and then on the way back, then we do some other weird time travel. So yeah, it's I'm really, really looking forward to it. I can't wait to get there, hit up the beach, see everyone from home. It's going to be great.
That's awesome.
And then just have like an Aussie Christmas, you know, I can't wait to take. I've never had somewhere to show it all, so I'm going to be taking lots of photos to be able to show you all what it is to have an Aussie Christmas. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, stand by for that. I'll send you messages while I'm over there.
No doubt, no doubt. We're looking forward to all those pictures and hoping safe travels to you and wishing the best to your Aussie family that's out there watching right now on Fox9.com and the Fox Local app. Just like we have viewers coast to coast and around the world, so we appreciate it.
Definitely viewers in Australia. They tune in every so often when it's not too early.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thanks, Paul, and Merry Christmas to you, and Merry Christmas to the whole Millgate family. Merry Christmas to everybody out there. We're only 13 days away from Christmas. We do have some holiday programming coming up in today's show. Not of the Christmas variety. There's actually another holiday that's beginning this Sunday evening. It's the Jewish holiday of Hanukkah, and we are so excited to bring back Evana Hershkowitz, the owner of the venerable Cecil's Deli in St. Paul on Cleveland Avenue. This is one of my favorite restaurants in the entire Twin Cities. She's going to be coming in, talking about the traditions of the holiday, talking about the food that goes around Hanukkah. We're so excited to have her in. We also have two Fox 9 personalities joining me today. Right at 3:10, we're going to bring in Pierre Noujaim to look ahead, I should say, for the Vikings-Cowboys game this upcoming Sunday night. And then later in today's show, Jennifer McDermed will come in and talk about the freezing temperatures that are rolling into town. Plus,
she's also going to join us to talk about her clip that went viral. If you're not familiar with it, I think it was a couple of years. Was it a couple of years ago when that happened?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. The sort of weird glitch happened, and then because Jennifer was on the green screen, the image kept repeating and repeating and repeating, and larger and larger and larger. And I think it happened again not too recently to our wonderful Kelsey and Randy as well. So
that's right. We'll
have to ask Jennifer what actually causes it. I wonder if she ever got down to the bottom of what all that tech is.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk to her. She'll be making her afternoon shift debut, which we're really pumped up about that. Also, there is some news in that happened across the state today. Governor Walz announced this morning that Tim O'Malley will serve as the state's first head of program integrity to crack down on Minnesota-based fraud. We're going to be bringing you more of that press conference that the governor and Mr. O'Malley held earlier today, so stay tuned for that. Plus, the Anoka-Hennepin teachers, they may be going on strike as early as next week. The president and CEO of the teachers union will be joining us live during today's show as well. So, like I said, jam-packed, full of news, sports, and everything else in between right here on the afternoon shift on this Friday edition. Let's get into some headlines before we really get into the meat and potatoes of today's show. Like I said, we're going to be bringing in Jennifer McDermed later in today to talk about the freezing cold temperatures that are coming into the Twin Cities this weekend. And when I say freezing cold, folks, it is freezing cold. Like Ian Leonard has been saying all week on this show, the high temperature tomorrow, it may get above 1. Ian was promising 1 degree yesterday. The updated forecast on fox9.com is calling for 2 degrees tomorrow. That's the high of 2 degrees. You got a low of looking around -10, -12. Sunday, it's not going to get much better, folks. The high temperature is going to be 6 degrees Sunday. So if you do some math here, this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, we don't think we're going to see a real temperature here in the Twin Cities above 6 degrees. I'm sure Jennifer is going to be able to talk much more about this. And Paul, I do not know what the temperature in Fahrenheit is going to be on Bondi Beach
Well, I
this
was just
weekend.
going to tell you, I've just done a bit of a Googling. They're expecting on Monday a high of around 24 degrees Celsius, which is around 75 degrees Fahrenheit.
Nice.
So nice with a little breeze. It'll be nice and sunny, and then I think it warms up a little bit over the coming days. Certainly going to get hot out in Narromine, the town that I'm from, the small country town. Let me just see if I can bring that up really quick.
Making everybody jealous in the Twin Cities.
Yeah, we're looking at like we're in the 80s for the time in Narromine, so it'll be nice and warm.
Send us some of those good warm vibrations, please, because we're going to need them here in Minnesota this weekend. The other big piece of news, and this is of the sad variety here, there were 2 notable gun-related incidents at schools today. One happening in Stewartville. So there was a shooting in the parking lot of Stewartville Middle School early this morning that left 1 dead and another in critical condition. This is in Olmsted County, and the sheriff there, Kevin Torgerson, said an adult male died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound after apparently shooting another student. The student is not naming neither the student nor the adult. So that happened this morning in Stewartville. And if we bring it back here, Fox 9, we're here in Eden Prairie, Minnesota, just down the street from us at Eden Prairie High School. 3 16-year-old boys were arrested after a rumor spread at Eden Prairie High School claiming that a gun was brought to school today, which caused a school-wide lockdown. The lockdown has since been lifted. 3 arrests of 16-year-old boys have been made in relation to this incident. Sad stuff that we're still dealing with this kind of thing. And like I said, as these stories continue to develop, we'll be bringing more of them to you here on the afternoon shift. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break here, and when we come back, we're going to have Pierre Noujaim in studio previewing this Sunday night football's game between the Minnesota Vikings and Dallas Cowboys. It's an elimination game, folks. The losing team, they're pretty much out of the playoff race, certainly out for the Vikings. They need to go 4-0, and they need some help along the way, too. Pierre's going to have all the ins and outs of the Vikings-Cowboys game. By the way, this Sunday will mark the 1,000th regular season game in Vikings franchise history. What a milestone for the team. We're excited to see if they're able to pull out the W in the Lone Star State. We'll have Pierre Noujaim coming up right after this to talk all about it. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back here to the afternoon shift. The Vikings, they are back in prime time this Sunday night when they travel to Dallas to take on the Cowboys with their playoff hopes on the line. Joining us now is Fox 9 sports reporter and pretty much the afternoon shift's de facto guest of the week here, Pierre Noujaim. You've been all over the after. This is your third or fourth?
Third this week. Third appearance this week.
1 remote,
yeah.
and 2 in studio.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. It's a pleasure to be back. Always enjoy being on the show.
Yeah, we had you on earlier this week. We got the great shot with Anthony Edwards in the background.
Yeah, that's right.
This is a full circle moment for us this week. We appreciate it.
Yeah. No. Well, it's a pleasure to be here as always. I enjoy. It's Friday's a great day to do this too, because half the time I'm prepping Gopher shows. Now that the Gopher pregame show is over for the season, I'm around. I just kind of walk around this building and see like who's getting up to trouble and see if I can join in. And Friday's my day to kind of fool around in this building, and I like that.
Well, thank you for fooling around with us.
Yeah,
we appreciate
my pleasure.
Listen, Pierre, both the Vikings and Cowboys, both long shots to make the playoffs at this point. The Cowboys with a much better chance than the Vikings.
Yeah.
But what are you going to be most looking forward to the Vikings for this one? You think they're going to be playing with that postseason urgency, or are they even thinking about that?
Well, I mean, you have to win in order to keep your chances alive, obviously. But even if they do win, it's out of their hands at this point, because if the Bears win, and I believe if the Lions win as well, if I'm not mistaken, either one of those scenarios happens, Minnesota is going to be eliminated. So there's probably a better chance than not that Minnesota is eliminated from postseason contention, not only after Sunday, but before they even take the field on Sunday. So I think, listen, this team has been a disappointment this year. There's no question about it. They built this team thinking that they had a win-now type team, especially when you look at the moves that were made in the offseason, in the trenches, both on the offensive line and the defensive line, and they, at this point, we kind of feel like we can say this, they overestimated or overplayed their hand a little bit in terms of what they believe J.J. McCarthy could do in his first full year. But, yeah, there's no question it's been a disappointment. But that being said, you still have 4 games left to play, and there are a lot of guys out there who are going to be playing for their job next season to try to prove why they shouldn't be shaken down for money or released next season to help Vikings alleviate their cap situation, which they have a serious cap situation right now, but that's a problem for the offseason. And it's, especially with the quarterback, too, you have to look at J.J. McCarthy and think to yourself, I've got a lot to prove in these last 4 games.
Absolutely.
Not only do I have a lot to prove, I need to prove why this franchise should still consider me as the franchise quarterback moving forward. No matter if he does well or if he does poorly in these last 4 games, I still think that competition needs to be brought in, and I don't think that the Vikings should automatically go into next season with the assumption that he's going to be the starter.
You talk about competition being brought in. What are some names for Vikings fans out there to kind of keep an eye on, you think?
Well, that's a good question because, Daniel Jones, unfortunately, I believe signed a 1-year I think his deal's for 1 year, if I'm not mistaken. So, but unfortunately, when you have the Achilles tear, that's going to be a full year to recover from. Daniel Jones won't be an option going into training camp next year. I know Mac Jones has been a name people have thrown around, but Mac Jones is under contract for another year. So if you want Mac Jones, you're going to have to trade for him. And I don't know if the Vikings are going to be willing to do that. And quite frankly, I don't know if the Niners are going to be willing to let him go.
Right.
So there's a couple other names that you tend to look around. Do you maybe go to another quarterback in the draft in the mid rounds or even in the early rounds? I'd have to take a look at the landscape to see who's a free agent and who's not. But I've heard Mac Jones' name a lot, but people need to remember that Mac Jones is under contract for another year. So if you're going to get Mac Jones, you need to trade for him.
There's no. I was just seeing some tweets about this, and I'm not a contract expert. But there's no way the Vikings could make a push and try to do some sort of blockbuster deal and go get a guy like Joe Burrow, right?
No,
that couldn't happen.
I mean, Cincinnati would have to be clinically insane. Cincinnati has done crazier things, I think, over the course of their, with Mike Brown as their owner. But no, I don't foresee anything like that. Do you want to kick the tires on Justin Fields? Do you want to maybe piece something together, a trade for Anthony Richardson and try to revive his career?
Yep.
These are some of the names that you kind of are looking at. I mean, Zach Wilson is currently a backup in Miami. I would be curious to see what Zach Wilson could do with Kevin O'Connell. And you can get him for cheap.
Yeah.
So that's another name maybe you keep an eye on as well. But yeah, it's a fascinating possibility because I have to imagine there's a lot of quarterbacks out there thinking to themselves that you're trying to revive your career. There might not be a better place to do it than in Minnesota with Kevin O'Connell. Now, that being said, the progress of J.J. McCarthy has come a lot slower than I think any of us would have anticipated, considering the work that Kevin O'Connell has done with Sam Darnold and with Kirk Cousins in the past. So even though Kirk Cousins looked pretty good last night, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yes, he
looked
did.
pretty good last night. So, yeah, that's some of the names that I would keep an eye on for sure going into the offseason.
Do you think that this is finally the game where Justin Jefferson and J.J. McCarthy get on the same page? Justin Jefferson, his last 2 games, 4 total receptions, 15 total yards. They're 1-1, so okay, fine. But he hasn't been a guy at all. So
it's an interesting question, and I say that for 2 reasons. Because one, first and foremost, when you're playing the Dallas Cowboys, who have the number 1 ranked offense in the NFL, you're going to have to score in order to keep up.
Yep.
So you're going to need Justin Jefferson to have much bigger numbers than what we've seen over the last couple of games. However, this brings me to my second point. when J.J. McCarthy has thrown interceptions, the majority of them are going towards Justin Jefferson's way. Now, that's an indication that perhaps he's looking for Justin Jefferson too much. Defenses are reading his eyes, or he's trying to force the issue. Last week against Washington, Justin Jefferson, if I'm not mistaken, was targeted 4 times.
Yes.
That's certainly not a high number for Justin Jefferson. However, with only 4 targets going Justin Jefferson's way, no turnovers in the game for J.J. McCarthy. Perhaps not force-feeding it to your star wide receiver and looking for other guys who might be open. Being able to go through your progressions and through your reads in order to get from 1 to 2 to 3 to see who's open and not just automatically assume if I throw it to Justin Jefferson, he's going to make a play, which he can probably most of the time.
Yep.
But that's how you can get in trouble, especially with the way teams are defending Justin Jefferson. How many double teams have we seen go Justin Jefferson's way over the last few weeks? Several. I mean, they are trying to take Justin Jefferson completely out of the game and make you beat them with other guys. So even though it was Washington, I know a lot of people saying, yeah, but it was the Commanders. They're having a terrible year. Their injury, there's a bunch of injuries on defense for Washington. I don't care who it was against. You saw progress from J.J. McCarthy. And that's all I needed to see at this point. I just want to see progress from week to week to week. But to answer your question more specifically, yeah, you're going to need a lot more. You're going to need a lot more in this game, in this week, in this scenario. You're going to need a lot more from Justin Jefferson. Now, not a lot of that is on him.
Yep.
But you are going to need this connection to be working at a much higher level than what we've seen the last couple of weeks. Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about the Cowboys. Very interesting team. Going to be on 10 days of rest coming into this game because they played Thursday. They got smacked at Detroit, but then they played the Thursday before that. They beat the Chiefs on Thanksgiving Day, of course, right here on Fox 9. Oh, no, sorry. That was on CBS. My apologies. But what kind of game do you expect from the Cowboys? What do you think that they've got going on here?
Well, it's
a 6-point favorite.
It's a really interesting. Is it 6 or 6.5?
It might even be 6.5. Yeah.
Either way, I think it's a really interesting chess match, so to speak. The reason why I say that is because Minnesota obviously blitzes higher than any team in the National Football League. Dak Prescott has been really good against the blitz this season, but like I said, the Cowboys have the number 1 ranked offense in all of football. Minnesota has the number 4 ranked pass defense in all of football. So there's your kind of unstoppable force, immovable object type storyline if you're looking for something. CeeDee Lamb looks like he is on track to play. I believe I read that he has been cleared from concussion protocol. So it does look like CeeDee Lamb is going to play in the game. So when you have CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, I mean, this has been the best wide receiver tandem in the National Football League all season long. So that's the angle of the game that I'm paying most attention to. If they're going to blitz at a high rate, your secondary better be ready because you've got 2 real grade A type talents at wide receiver because that ball's going to come out fast and you better be ready to turn your head and either knock a pass away or just not lose track of your guy. So that right there to me is going to be the key to the game is Minnesota's blitz, how much they're going to blitz. How well can you defend the pass against this Cowboys offense? Now, Minnesota hasn't been all that great against the run this year. They've been better as of late. But they haven't been there's been some games where it's been good and some games where it's been bad. So is this an opportunity for Javonte Williams, perhaps, to feast in this game? Could be a possibility as well. I mean, this Cowboy offense really has played tremendous football all season long. It's been their defense that's been letting them down all season.
Yeah. This game, of course, is not on Fox 9, but we're still going to have some Fox 9 programming around this game.
Right.
You'll be able to be a part of that programming. You're going to be on camera, right?
Well, after the game, just flip right on over to us. Myself, Jim Rich, Pete Bursich is going to join us from Dallas, so we'll have a complete recap and up to the middle. We'll go live inside the locker room. For a complete recap of the Vikings and the Cowboys on Vikings postgame tonight. That starts at 10:35 on Fox 9.
See, you have a night Vikings postgame show. This is the beginning of Pierre Noujaim in the nighttime slot. Primetime Pierre.
That's where I do my best work is at night. That's usually when I do my most damage. Yeah, and that's when I usually get it done.
I know Pierre can't hear me right now.
Yes, Paul.
We've got fact on our Instagram post here, Pierre. So
Yes.
the shot of you almost getting hit in the head by that basketball the other day did very well on Instagram.
Yes.
And the other thing that did really well was when you gave us that great rant about soccer.
That's right.
And so what I want to know, and if you can pass this on to
Yep.
Pierre, because I know Pierre's being a total professional here and pretending like he can hear what I'm saying. So he'd be laughing if he actually could hear what I'm saying. But he's being a total professional. I want to know what's on Pierre's mind about ranting today. What would he like to have a little rant about, and that'll go out on our socials this afternoon?
Yeah, so Paul was basically saying your rant on soccer it just went over so well. But, I think a cornerstone of your visits here has been kind of your hot takes. You have a hot take, something that's bothering you right now?
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily something that's bothering me exactly. However, there's one thing that occurred to me last night. Last night I went out to dinner with my wife and her family. It was my father-in-law's 75th birthday last night. Happy birthday, Dad. But we went to a restaurant. I will not name the restaurant.
You call your father-in-law Dad, by the way?
That's probably the first time I've actually done it. I'm still trying to get used to that, to be honest. It's a little weird, but yeah, I'm still getting used to that. Last time we went to a restaurant, I won't name the restaurant, the service was fine. It was slow. Okay. The service was slow, which is not necessarily, we're all together. I'm got nowhere to be, so it's not a huge deal, but it was noticeably slow. However, this is a place where it's like, it's kind of pricey, and it's obviously, the ambiance inside makes you think this is a classy establishment and stuff like that. So it got me to thinking, what do you say to the wait staff when they ask you how was the food? And in your heart, the food was average at best. It's like, do I actually... That's what I would love to know from the wait staff. Do you really want to hear an honest answer, or do you not? Because if you come up to me and you say, how was the food? In my mind, I'm like, it's very mediocre. I probably won't be back. But what are they going to say to that?
Right. Yeah, and they don't care. They just want the tip.
Exactly. They don't care. Yeah. If you come up to me and I say, the food sucked. The food sucked. What is the waitress going to say? Oh, I'm sorry. What's that interaction? How do you go about, unless you just say, it's good, it was fine. You just keep the peace and you move on.
Yeah.
But in my heart, it's like, am I doing them a disservice by not telling them that, what, you might want to tweak some things?
Yeah.
The walleye was very, how do I say it, bad.
Yeah.
It's like, what, I don't know how you would approach that situation. It's very interesting to me.
Kind of like, if somebody asks you, how your day is going, and I think just the general answer is it's going well, or it's going good, or whatever. You don't tell people that you're having a bad day, because then you want the follow-up question like, well, why is your day bad? And then it's just like, people aren't asking that question to get a real answer. They just want to hear a one-word answer from you.
I'm a product of Seinfeld and professional wrestling. So is it these nuance to your day-to-day life? It's like, because it almost feels like if you're going to get in a conversation like that, you almost need permission from the other person to I'm not sure I want to waste another 5 minutes of my life sitting here talking to you about how bad the fish was or how slow our service was, even though I do work here. So it's like, where's the fine line in terms of socially allowing the other person to give you a fair retort, and how much time are you willing to invest in their thoughts and feelings? That's kind of the imbalance, I guess, that we're looking for.
Our Aussie friend Paul wants to know if this restaurant that was very very classy and pricey was America's favorite Australian restaurant, Outback Steakhouse. Was that what it was?
That was not. And for people,
Blooming Onion, was it too slow?
Yeah. It was definitely not Outback Steakhouse. And I apologize for all the audience that are watching right now. I don't have my IFB. And hi, I'm a professional broadcaster. I didn't bring my IFB into this case, so I can't hear Paul. Yeah, it was not Outback Steakhouse.
Yeah.
When I walked in, I was like, oh, this looks like a good place. And the ambiance, like I said, the ambiance is great. I was expecting the food to be better.
Yeah.
Now, who needs to hear that?
Right.
Does the waitress need to hear that? Does the chef need to hear that? Does the manager need to hear that? Because here I am, I'm talking about it. I'm going to be going around saying, I'm not going to say the name of the restaurant here, but in my off camera, be like, oh, this place?
Yeah.
Nah. If I'm the manager, I want why? Oh, why?
The manager definitely cares. Yes.
I need to know why, because I need to get people in here.
Yes.
I can't have somebody out there talking bad about my restaurant because of this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
So it's like, where's the fine line in terms of honesty versus time invested?
Yeah.
in a conversation of that nature.
Yeah, and I find even in those situations for me, I still end up leaving the nice tip and the whole thing.
Yeah,
It's just like you just move on with it.
Yeah. And it's the holiday season, and like I said, the wait staff was perfectly nice and attentive. Like that was not the issue.
Yeah.
That's not the issue. The issue was, it took a while for the main dish to come around, which didn't really bother me that much, but it was unusually long. But the food just wasn't that good. And it was a little bit deceptive. You walk in there, you got the lights, you got the ambiance, the whole, I was like, oh, this looks like, it was my first time there.
Yeah.
Oh, this looks like a good place. This looks like it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Can't say the food was all that great.
Average at best. Yeah. Unlike this segment here, this was an exceptional segment, and
this is where I can be open and honest.
This
is even though it's not nighttime yet, I'm warming up now for the night, so I can be open and even more open and honest. That's what we need. That's what the world needs. Me to be more open and honest. I'm sure that's what the world needs.
Pierre, in primetime, can people see you on Fox 9 tonight? Are you doing some sports
tonight? No, my job is pretty much done for the day. You saw me on all day. However, tomorrow I do plan on being at the Wild game. Wild hosting the Senators tomorrow afternoon, matinee affair out at the GCA. So we'll see if the Wild can make it 3 in a row. They won last night against Dallas. A great game last night for the Wild. So if you see me out at GCA tomorrow, come say hello.
Perfect. We're going to put you up on our Instagram today. I think, Paul, there it is. Fox afternoon shift, Fox 9.
There it is.
Pierre, that's can you promote our Instagram? Paul?
Yeah, absolutely. You see it right there. The afternoon shift on Fox 9. These guys do great work here. We don't have Max this week. Unfortunately, hopefully we'll get Max back next week, but Adam and Max working hard, and Paul working even harder behind the scenes. I know he's working as hard as anyone in this building. So the afternoon shift, there you have it right there, Fox 9. Yes.
And of course, our colleague Grace as well.
And Grace as well, yes. Sorry, Grace. Didn't mean to leave you. My apologies to Grace.
No, you're good, Pierre. Thank you so much for coming today. We appreciate you as always. Thanks for a great week.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Happy to be here.
Awesome. We are going to have more on the afternoon shift after this, all about Tim Walz's appointment of Tim O'Malley as the state's first head of program integrity to crack down on Minnesota-based fraud. That press conference is coming up right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the afternoon shift. Earlier today, Governor Tim Walz announced this morning that Tim O'Malley will serve as the state's first head of program integrity to crack down on Minnesota-based fraud. O'Malley previously served as superintendent of the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension under Republican Governor Tim Pawlenty. This comes as there have been a ton of fraud-based stories here in Minnesota. Governor Walz held a press conference about this earlier and introduced Mr. O'Malley to this position as well. We have a clip from that press conference. Let's roll in that clip right now.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. We're going to make some announcements. You're going to get to meet a few people. We're going to introduce a new individual, not new to state government and not new to serving the people of Minnesota, but new on the focus around making sure program integrity is utmost importance. But I want to address at the top here two of our fellow Minnesotans, two of our fellow American citizens, two of our fellow Minnesota American citizens who were minding their own business and living their lives were detained by and arrested by ICE. These chaotic operations are doing nothing to make us safer. These chaotic operations are not done in any coordination with law enforcement in the middle of a blizzard. The absolute recklessness of doing some of this and the targeting of a specific community, unconscionable, does nothing to either address immigration. It certainly does nothing to address fraud in programs. It is very specifically aimed and very racially motivated towards a Somali community that matters greatly here. I know there was a hearing yesterday to get some answers on this. The DHS secretary left, no reason, stood up and left that hearing. I have not received a response to my letters asking about explanations on what's happening. I would note that I was in that hearing and I stayed for the 8.5 hours and answered all the questions. I think the expectation would be in a moment like this where American citizens' constitutional rights are being violated and put at risk, that there would be an answer. And also in the midst of this, I think it's really important. I'd like to acknowledge just the basic decency, not a surprise to everybody in here has been, but Senator Jim Abler's willingness to stand up note that it should be the simplest thing in the world when the President of the United States calls an entire group of people garbage and our state garbage and hellhole, to just disavow that. You can still be very conservative. You can still call yourself a Republican. But I think if you want to call yourself a Minnesotan and you want to call yourself a decent human being, you follow Jim Abler's role here. He and I have battled on many issues. We disagree on a lot of policy issues. But I know over the years that he stands up for what's right. So I thank him, and I think for fellow Minnesotans to know in this moment, there's going to be a temptation as this happens and this recklessness happens. I would caution people, express your First Amendment rights, but it's clear the president wants a spectacle. It's clear they want to arrest more people. They have a made-up quota number by Stephen Miller, an unelected official, who's telling them just to arrest as many people possible so we can say it. They're not targeted on violent criminals. They're not targeted, obviously. They took American citizens. They deported a U.S. combat veteran who served this nation in uniform and deported him to South Korea, a country he has not been in since he was 8 years old. So I want to address it at the top of the hour. But back to here in this state and accepting responsibility and fixing problems, Minnesota is a great place to live. We rank at the very top of most states in quality of life. Affordability, we were recently named the 8th safest state in terms of crime. We were rated 2nd most retirement-friendly state, which is simply amazing since Florida was 1, and we are still 2nd on a day like today. And job opportunities. We understand the strength and prosperity of this state depends on the ability of every single Minnesotan to thrive. We are a state that chooses not to let people go hungry or homeless or uneducated. However, that generosity has been taken advantage of by an organized group of fraudsters and criminals. Minnesota's longstanding high standards of integrity of public funds go hand in hand with a culture of generosity. You can't have one without the other. Any amount of fraud is too much. That's why over the last several years, we've made many systematic changes to state government to both detect fraud and hold those accountable after it happened. Year after year, we brought new ideas to the legislature to stay ahead of the evolving tactics, and they are evolving. AI poses immense challenges in the fraud space. We've sought top-to-bottom change in state government to create stronger oversight. We leveraged outside experts. We modernized technology and hold criminals accountable. And we're building on that work today. I'm announcing today that Tim O'Malley will be the Director of Program Integrity. Tim can tell you a little bit about himself, but I think many of you in this room are familiar with him. He was a superintendent of BCA under Governor Paul-Millgate. He served the Archdiocese, the Catholic Archdiocese, on making sure that the integrity in their programs was maintained. And more recently, I asked him to fill in as the chief judge on the administrative hearing courts, which he did admirably. And I will note, made a culture change there that was the responses from the folks who work over there simply amazing. Tim, the former judge, former superintendent, as I said, will work across state government to strengthen fraud protection and protect taxpayer dollars. And I want to be clear, he's coming in here, as all these experts will say, and I do it with all my agencies, they are given the full autonomy to speak up when there are issues, to bring solutions forward, and to be with the understanding, and Tim made this clear yesterday as we were talking, he does not work for me. He works for the people of Minnesota, as all of us do. And in fact, he was so clear about that is he wanted to make sure that he rewrote the press release that went out to make sure that it reflects not a reality that we may craft, but the one that's truly there. So I'm truly looking forward to that. We're partnering with third-party experts from Waypoint. You're going to hear Josiah Lamb talk about that, to audit all programs and provide that private sector expertise, something we started doing when we had the problems with the MNLAR system and the licensing. We quit doing it internally. We went outside and it worked. We've installed new leadership inside DHS, and we'll work and continue to work with our federal partners every step of the way to make sure we have accountability. Shireen Gandhi has been over at DHS since January when we made changes over there, and she has brought, and you're going to hear some of it, accountability to the programs, but also doing something that's very challenging in any large organization, culture change amongst that. And I know some make the analysis that it's like turning a battleship. It's about knowing that our good state employees, that the default position is to serve their fellow Minnesotans. And I think what we're going to see is that we need to make sure we're taking those steps that while we're a generous state, we have to be skeptical. And we do that in a way that we still make sure that we're getting speed to the program. And Superintendent Evans has a great analogy to maybe talk a little bit about this. But speed with integrity of the program have to go hand in hand. And if it means slowing speed down a little bit to get the integrity, then that's exactly what has to happen. It's a problem we take seriously. It should not be a partisan issue. It should not be an excuse to defund popular programs. My biggest heartache in this and regret is I know all along I believe deeply in what state government can do. I have a long history both personally and in my public life around fiscal responsibilities. Why Minnesota still across the board ranks as one of the most fiscally sound states, and the rating agencies continue to say so, of just making sure that we're stopping this. And the idea that you just complain and doesn't work. Every governor has dealt with this. That's what my goal is that I'm the last one to deal with it on this level. So the bottom line is we have, just like in COVID, just like in every other situation, I take full responsibility for it. I think, and I will acknowledge certainly to Minnesotans and to the press here, I don't think we've done a good enough job of communicating the hard work that's been done, and that undermines state employees on the side of both. No state employees are involved in any of this. The work that's been done and the amount of money that has been saved and captured doesn't get told, because I think we need to be, I'm going to get more of a cadence around like COVID so that you all know. You don't have to guess. You can see what's happening. And that work has been being done by them. So if you try and commit fraud in Minnesota, and there's folks out there listening right now, you are going to prison eventually. I think the biggest thing on this is you'll hear from some of the experts here, many of these programs, especially federal Medicaid and Medicare, plagues every state. And when you sit down and dig into this, it takes weeks and weeks and weeks, and actually it takes years to become experts in this. These are programs that have been layered up in a spider web over the years that makes it incredibly difficult. And I think unwinding those or bringing about the integrity, it's the reason why we're seeing federal agencies under the Trump administration acknowledge the work that's being done, acknowledge that these things are better, and actually suggesting in other states when I talk to them about implementing that, because they're going to deal with it. COVID moved a lot of money very, very quickly. And our goal was to make sure we were moving that money so that people ate, that they were housed, that they had vaccines, but it also opened up the door to relax the guardrails and to have fraud be committed. So we're committed to getting this. It's why I'm incredibly proud to announce, and I'm going to turn it over to someone, again, has done his time for this state, has done it time and time again, and when it comes time to fix something or to bring someone in that has the credibility to be able to talk to folks, Tim O'Malley has said yes. So I want to introduce our new Director of Program Integrity, Tim O'Malley.
That was Governor Tim Walz earlier this morning announcing Tim O'Malley to be the state's first Director of Program Integrity to crack down on Minnesota-based fraud. I know we didn't get to Mr. O'Malley's portion of that press conference right now. Just stay tuned right here into the afternoon shift. In the 4 o'clock hour, we will be getting to Mr. O'Malley and the thoughts and remarks he had to say at Governor Walz's press conference earlier today. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we are going to bring it back here locally to our schools. The Anoka-Hennepin schools, the teachers there may be going on strike as early as next week, and the president of the Anoka-Hennepin Education Minnesota Union, John Walhopter, will be joining the afternoon shift right after this. Don't go anywhere. We're just getting started here on the afternoon shift. Welcome back to the afternoon shift. The state of Minnesota's largest school district is the Anoka-Hennepin School District, and the teachers union there says it will hold a strike authorization vote early next week. The union leader said earlier this week that more than 90% of union members have signed a pledge saying that they would vote to strike if necessary. Joining us now is the president of Anoka-Hennepin Education Minnesota, Mr. John Walhopter. Mr. Walhopter, welcome to the afternoon shift. How are you, sir?
Great. Thanks for having me, Adam.
Thanks for being on here. John, can you tell us what is the real sticking point behind this strike, or potential strike, I should say?
Yeah, so teachers have been working under an expired contract in Anoka-Hennepin since July 1st. And every offer we've received from the district so far, we've really been asked to make a choice between having a raise that keeps us competitive with our peers in other districts and maintaining affordable health insurance costs. And if we agree to health insurance cost increases, then we wouldn't really get a raise. If we agree to a raise, that would mostly be eaten up by the health insurance increases. And so it's really been an untenable choice for us to make in this contract cycle.
Yeah, the Anoka-Hennepin School District says that it's dealing with a budget reduction of more than $22 million. How exactly does this factor into the negotiations?
Well, on the board meeting on Monday night, the board did the last bit of those budget reductions. One of the things that we've really seen over the last several months is that at the same time that our members and our teachers have been taking home less pay as they've paid those increased health insurance costs, we've seen the district's health or financial picture improve. Over the last several months, we've seen the district's fund balance, their rainy day fund, if you will, increase over the last several months. And what we're asking for, we believe, is absolutely affordable for the district, and that we believe the school board can make a choice to retain and attract the best educators for the students of Anoka-Hennepin.
John, how would you say the negotiations are coming along?
Well, we've been meeting consistently with the district since the summer. We made really a lot of great progress on a lot of things that are important to teachers outside of the financial pieces, but we've reached kind of a point where we really need the school board to step up and give their team some additional resources to get to that point where we can make it so that teachers are not being asked to fall behind.
Yeah. So listen, 90% of union members say they have signed a pledge to vote to strike if necessary. So when exactly would this strike begin, John?
Well, that will ultimately be up to our executive board. So our members will be voting next week, and then our executive board will take a look at those results and make determinations based on our membership and based on the situation of the district to see if we move forward with a strike potentially in the new year.
Yeah. And so what does this mean for Anoka-Hennepin students if you all do go on strike in the new year? Is there no class, or are class sizes heavily impacted? How does that work for the kids?
Well, I want to make it really clear that we don't feel like a strike is inevitable at this point. We feel like the school board can make some choices to avert all of these conversations. Is the largest district in the state, it would be likely that school would have to be canceled because of it would be difficult to staff schools without our 3,000 members.
Yeah. Have you ever been a part of anything like this before, John?
It's been a long time. My third year in the school district, we were at a similar place where we were where we took a strike vote back in 2002. At that point, 97% of our members had approved a strike vote or approved a strike. And pretty quickly after that, the school district was able to find resources to settle our contract. Like I said, we don't believe a strike is inevitable, and we believe the district has the resources they need to settle our contract.
Yeah, and I guess one thing I'm curious about too, especially from a teacher's perspective, how do you balance sort of obviously looking out for yourself and wanting to get paid fairly and a competitive wage, especially as it pertains to other school districts in the state, but also the students that are in your class? My mom is an educator, and I know that you develop personal relationships with those students, and you want to see them succeed and you want to see them grow. And the best way to see them grow is to obviously see them every single day in the classroom. How do you kind of balance those two? Because I know you don't want to abandon the students, but at the same time, you got to look out for number one as well.
Well, and I think what we see this as is maintaining the long-term health of the district. One of the district's own strategic priorities is recruiting and retaining staff. And to do that, they do need to be competitive with other districts across the state and across the metro in particular. And we believe that we can reach a contract that is within the district's financial parameters and while also meeting the needs of educators so that we do attract and retain those quality educators for the long term here in Anoka-Hennepin.
So what's next in this situation, John? Is there going to be contract negotiations throughout the weekend, or will all this stuff kind of pick up on Monday?
Well, we had a rally at the school board meeting and made it really clear on Monday that we're ready to meet with the district when they're ready. Right now, we're continuing to work towards planning towards that vote we have next week. But when the district believes that they are ready to meet with us, we're ready to meet with them.
John Walhopter, the president of Anoka-Hennepin Education Minnesota. John, this is a lot of great information. Where can people kind of learn more about the union and keep up with this story?
They can find Anoka-Hennepin Education Minnesota on Facebook is a great place to start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we're going to continue having more on this story as it continues to develop. And John, we might ask you to join back into this conversation if there are some developments here in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, happy to share more information.
Awesome. John, thank you so much.
Yep.
We will definitely keep tabs on this story. Again, this is Minnesota's largest school district, the Anoka-Hennepin School District. Potentially the teachers there might be going on strike, like John said, in the new year if contract negotiations are not met with the school district. Of course, the teachers are looking for competitive wages, especially as it pertains to other school districts that are also out there. And as John said, too, if they do go on strike, and that is a big if, but if they do go on strike, that could lead to school cancellations. Again, this is the largest school district in the entire state. It's a big story, and as it continues to develop, we will definitely bring you more right here on the afternoon shift.
I mean, I remember as a kid, I would always be crossing my fingers when I heard that there was maybe going to be a teacher's strike.
No.
Because you'd get to stay home. Or you wouldn't have to
You don't want that, though, in the long term.
But
you don't
know what
actually.
else I feel like Minnesotan kids get the raw end of the deal here is snow days.
Sure.
Right? The amount of kids that on that day when there was all that snow, massive, school still happened.
Yeah.
Because Minnesota's set up with the infrastructure to be able to do it. But I saw a lot of really unhappy looking kids standing at the bus stop on, was it Tuesday? And they were just like,
I liked school, though.
I'd get
That's
a
the thing.
snow
I
day
liked going to
today.
school. I liked going to school. I had no
like
problem.
school more than a snow day?
Look, I mean, the day off every now and then is okay, but I enjoyed going to school. I really did. I enjoyed going to school. I enjoyed being with my friends. I enjoyed learning. I would get ahead on tests and prep and projects and whatever. So I enjoyed going to school. And listen, for the long-term benefit of the students, you don't want to see students at home, especially, consecutive days. They need to be in the classroom doing the work so they can get to college, so they can go and have long, illustrious careers and whatnot. But at the same time, you want to see the teachers get paid fairly and competitive wages, especially as it pertains to other districts out there. So I see both sides here, and it seemed like John was relatively optimistic that a deal is going to be met before a strike gets reached. He definitely made sure to throw in the fact that it's if a strike gets there, it's not inevitable. He repeated several times there. So I'm hopeful that Anoka-Hennepin and the teachers there can kind of figure this out, because I think the students need to be the biggest winners in this, because as much as we love snow days, and snow days are good every now and then, but you need to be in the classroom. There's no better way to learn than being in the classroom present, not via Zoom, in the classroom present.
Oh, the more you know.
Hey,
Adam Llorens.
That's
there
right.
You go.
That's my rant. You just had Pierre's rant. That's my rant. And I enjoyed going to school. I'm not just saying that for the camera. I really did enjoy going to school, and the teachers did really like me.
Yeah,
So
teachers do good work. I think
Yes.
I heard someone in the office the other day saying that middle school teachers are quite literally angels here on earth, because they deal with so much.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes.
Hopefully they get looked after, and school doesn't get disrupted this close to Christmas.
That's what I'm saying. Just in time for the new semester as the new year begins. Of course, you just brought up Christmas. We're bringing up new beginnings. We're talking about the holiday season. Another huge holiday in this holiday season is, of course, Hanukkah, which begins this weekend, Sunday night, Paul.
I don't know anything about Hanukkah. I'm going to admit I know. Well, that's a lie. What I know about Hanukkah is I know of menorahs.
Mm-hmm.
And I found out something just by doom scrolling on Instagram last night that, did you know that menorahs can be kosher and unkosher?
Oh, I did not know that.
I found that out. So here's what I learned. The candlesticks, is, for lack of a better, there's a different word for them. Mm-hmm. They all have to be completely in a row and completely at the same height. Mm-hmm. And the one in the middle, which has a particular name, has to be higher, or higher or lower. It has to be out of, just not in the same line. Mm-hmm. And if they are not exactly to those specifications, then that menorah is not kosher.
Very interesting. You know who could probably tell us all about what kosher and was not kosher?
I would imagine that they're probably going to be very good at it. Yeah.
Especially as it pertains to menorahs, is Evana Hershkowitz. She's from our good friends at Cecil's Deli on Cleveland Avenue in St. Paul. folks, this is one of the best restaurants, not just in the Twin Cities, but in the entire Midwest. Fantastic food there. They are getting ready for the Hanukkah holiday that's coming up. It begins this Sunday evening. Evana Hershkowitz, the great-granddaughter of Mr. Cecil himself, is coming in studio for a second time. Of course, I welcomed her here during the Rosh Hashanah holiday, and now we're bringing her back just in time for Hanukkah beginning this Sunday night. I'm so excited for Cecil's Deli and Evana Hershkowitz coming up right next. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back here to the afternoon shift. I got so excited about Evana Hershkowitz and Cecil's Deli. I forgot that we do our traditional 4 p.m. recap. It is 4 p.m. Central Time here in the Twin Cities. Thank you for being here on the afternoon shift. I'm Adam Llorens. It's Friday, December 12th. We've already had a fantastic show. We had Pierre Noujaim in studio previewing Sunday night's Vikings-Cowboys game. That is not on Fox 9, but right after the game, just flip that remote right over here to Fox 9 for some post-game coverage with Pierre, Jim Rich, and others breaking down everything from Dallas. We also talked about the Anoka-Hennepin teacher strike. We just had on the union president just a short while ago. And we also replayed back a press conference from Governor Walz earlier today announcing that Tim O'Malley will serve as the state's first director of program integrity to crack down on Minnesota-based fraud. We are going to be bringing you Mr. O'Malley's portions from that press conference later in today's show. But right now, there was a pretty interesting moment between the governor and a reporter during that press conference that we did not get to earlier today. Paul, let's take a look at this moment.
You were asked on Meet the Press if you take accountability for the fraud that's happened under your administration. Your answer is a little unclear, so I just want
Yes. Yes, I take responsibility for everything. I take responsibility for COVID. I take responsibility for George Floyd. I take responsibility for balancing the budgets. And I do take responsibility for making this state one of the best in the country for children to live, so the outcomes. I also note to folks that the one airport that has remained on time is Minneapolis-St. Paul. I take responsibility for that. I appoint everybody to the MAC Council, and I am fully responsible for it. So I'm not sure Minnesotans know that part. I'll take the off-topic.
Hey, when you're the governor, you take the good and the bad for sure, and you definitely make sure that you tell people that you got the good. And hey, the governor's not wrong. MSP Airport is certainly one of the best in the country. Governor Tim Walz there, kind of looking back on a reporter there. Paul, we cannot hear. There you go.
MSP Airport is, I have to say, phenomenal.
It is good.
Even during all of those shutdowns, all those lockdowns, you forget how good it is to have an airport that you can turn up and you are through security in 10, 15 minutes. That is not the case at other airports. That is, you're stuck in lines constantly. I've never actually been at MSP, and I'm going tomorrow, so I could be actually cursing myself to this, but I've never spent more than 10 minutes in a line at MSP. So, I mean, I had no idea that the governor could take responsibility for the airport running so well.
Hey, listen, that's what I'm saying. When you're the governor, you take credit
good,
for
the bad, the ugly, huh?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And you get to call your own press conferences at the state capitol building. It's not a job for everybody, but you gotta kind of own it if you're in it.
Yeah, I mean, you need to do a tour of the Capitol building. That's one thing we have to put on your list of things to do, because you actually get to go into that room where the governor does his press conferences, and you see all the amazing paintings around. I think you'd like it. I think we should look at getting your tour style there at the Capitol.
Yeah, I'd love to do it. I love the city of St. Paul. Of course, the beautiful Cathedral of St. Paul is right next to the Capitol building, and just down the street from the Cathedral and the Capitol building is what I think one of the best restaurants, not just in the Twin Cities, but in the entire Midwest, Cecil's Deli, the only Jewish deli in the Twin Cities. Evana Hershkowitz of the Cecil's family, Mr. Cecil's great-granddaughter. She'll be coming in studio right upcoming after this commercial break to talk about the Hanukkah holiday that begins on Sunday evening, all the traditions, customs, and, of course, food that's around Hanukkah. Don't go anywhere. Cecil's Deli in the house coming up right after this. To the afternoon shift. The table is all decked out for Hanukkah, which begins this Sunday evening. No better person to talk all about Hanukkah with than Cecil's Deli and the great-granddaughter of Mr. Cecil himself, Evana Hershkowitz, Cecil's Deli on Cleveland Avenue in St. Paul. Evana, thank you so much for coming back. We appreciate it.
Yes, thanks for having me. Excited to be back.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to get into all of the food and everything. Yeah. But first, let's just tell the people, what's Hanukkah all about?
So Hanukkah A simple answer, it's about the food. But more complicated answer is that there was a point in our history over 2,000 years ago when someone decided they didn't want Jews around. They didn't want us practicing Judaism. So a group of Jewish freedom fighters called the Maccabees got together and they fought and they won. And then somehow they miraculously won, right? Then there was another miracle on top of that where they get back into the temple and everything is destroyed. It's messy. It's gross. They find a little bit of oil, and somehow that little bit of oil that's supposed to last one day miraculously lasted 8. Oh. So that's where the 8 days comes from. That's where the oil comes from. That's where all the fried food comes from, is the miracle of the oil.
Yeah, so we brought you here to talk about Rosh Hashanah. That was the New Year. That was the sweetness. That was the sweet bread. The oil, that's where the candles come from the menorah. That's where the fried food. So it's all kind of tied into that, to the oil that the Maccabees had. Yeah.
And so a menorah, or Chanukah, as some people call it, used to be oil. But we've upgraded to make it a little easier for ourselves, and we use candles now. Yeah. Some people still use the traditional oil. Yeah. To each their own.
Yeah. You know, another thing I think that people think about probably to each their own is the spelling of Hanukkah. You know, you see it with the C, you see it with an H. How do you spell it? Or both are correct, yeah?
Everything is correct.
Yeah.
I like to spell it different every single time, so I'm never wrong.
You can never be wrong. You just get it different every time. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What are some of the favorite traditions that you have around Hanukkah?
You know, I was thinking about it today because I knew you were going to ask that. And for me, when I thought about it, my favorite traditions truly came down to making latkes with my mom.
Okay.
That's who taught me how to make them. I actually called her today. You would think I would know at this point. I've been making it on my own for years. And I called my mom and my grandma and I said, remind me what goes in it. Yeah. And just that memory of making it with them, but not only making it, then smelling like it. The house would smell like it for days. The dogs will smell like it. Everything will smell like it. I showered before coming here, so hopefully I'm not too bad. Yeah. But that smell of the fried food reminds you of latke, reminds me of winter, reminds me of just hanging out at home with my parents, lighting the Chanukiah, celebrating Hanukkah, and just being cozy.
Yeah, and you could smell the latkes here. I'm going to take a look at one of this is a latke right here.
Yes. So I have 3 different kinds for you.
Okay, all right.
That tray right there has all 3. So you picked up the regular homemade potato latke.
Okay, this is the classic,
The
right?
classic.
Yep.
I like to make it, my great-grandma always hand-shredded it. That gives you a little bit crispier of an edge. Now, there's another way to make it. There's a box latke. Okay. It is not going to be as crispy. Some people might even call them soggy, but some people love that. The long, stringy potatoes will give you the crispy. So you have the regular latke. On the complete opposite side, you have a crispy sweet potato latke.
Oh, these are sweet potatoes.
Those are sweet potato. Correct. And sweet potatoes have a high, they're really crispy because they have a higher sugar content. So they almost caramelize on the outside and get even more sweet. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. And when you're making those, if you choose to make them at home, your pan of oil is going to actually start to get foamy and bubbly. And that's from the caramelization of the sweet potato. And in the middle, you have a traditional Cecil's latke.
This is you can get this at Cecil's.
Yep.
Deli.
You see how big that is compared to the ones I make?
Huge.
It's like the size of your face.
This is huge. I mean, look at it. It is the size of my face almost.
So those we make almost every day at Cecil's during Hanukkah. We probably make them more than once a day. You can come in and get them fresh and they can cook it for you. You can also buy them in 6-packs frozen and just go home and make it. And it's almost the easiest way to make it because then you don't have to sit over the frying pan with the oil. You'll get a little bit of the smell, but it won't linger for days like you do when you make them fresh.
And this is your favorite Hanukkah tradition right here, was making these latkes with your mom.
And then having the conversation of sour cream or applesauce.
Oh, yeah. So talk to us about that. What's the difference between these? Are just sort of toppings for them?
It's a personal preference.
Yeah.
My cousins even used ketchup, which some people would roll their eyes at because it's like a hash brown. I loved sour cream. My sister loved applesauce. And my mom would make the applesauce fresh. So I heard you're not an applesauce person, but I made a spiced like cinnamon and clove and nutmeg applesauce. Because I think it just brings that extra warmth that you need in winter.
No doubt. No doubt. You know, I think from your perspective, you know, Christmas kind of gets all the headlines and we have the Christmas movies, we have the Christmas songs and whatever. You don't really hear Hanukkah songs being played on the radio so much, and you don't really hear too much about Hanukkah movies and that sort of thing. How does that, you know, kind of hit you? Because Hanukkah, that is your holiday too, you know, and it is here. It begins Sunday night. How does that kind of hit you, especially kind of growing up? I would say.
I think it was tougher growing up. As I've gotten older, I've realized that Hanukkah is not one of our big holidays.
Okay, yeah.
Christmas is a big holiday, right? And so for us, Hanukkah is Hanukkah. It would be great to go to a store and hear something other than Christmas music.
Sure.
Then I'm going home and singing it because they're so catchy.
Yeah.
But Hanukkah is a great holiday to celebrate. It's a great holiday to share with your friends. But a lot of the traditions, the giving gifts, that's become something that's more Americanized. The biggest tradition is something called gelt.
Okay.
And so you can see on the table, I've got a few different kinds. We sell them at Cecil's in little baggies.
Okay.
And the gelt is basically a gold coin.
Okay.
Sometimes they're silver, sometimes they're blue.
Yep.
So a something wrapped coin.
It's chocolate
It's
coin.
chocolate. Go
Yeah.
ahead, dive in.
Okay, yeah.
And the tradition from that actually comes from the game of dreidel,
Oh.
or the giving of gifts, which is just giving money, not a physical item.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's been a lost tradition, is that Hanukkah is about gelt and money and giving versus receiving.
And I know, and I just finished that awesome walk
Sorry.
from Cecil's Tower. No, it is awesome. Is the giving, is it each of the 8 nights, each time you light the menorah, you're supposed to, is there like kind of a gift exchange that kind of happens around that time?
Yeah. And I think growing up, my mom would give us like socks or like, I'm trying to think even what else. I loved getting the socks. It's so funny because now I'm like, where are my socks? It's something small, right? It's not about the huge, massive gifts, asking for, handing a Christmas list. That's not really the tradition of Hanukkah.
Yeah.
And I was talking with my husband. I said, maybe one day when we have kids, it would be nice to bring it back to the simpler thinking of giving versus receiving, and about remembering that this holiday isn't just about the gifts and the presents and the materialistic. It's about the receiving of time with your family, the receiving of gelt, or even just spending time playing dreidel, which is it's a consumption of time versus physical items.
That's right. Let's talk about dreidel. We have a couple of dreidels on the table.
Yes.
So what's the concept of that? You see it's kind of like a dice, if you will,
Yeah.
a little bit. You see hay and gimel and noon. Shin. What do these words mean here?
I was about to be really impressed thinking you knew the Hebrew letters, but I realized it's in English on top.
I wish.
So go ahead and spin it. So
Yeah.
each one has a different symbolization. So that's gimel,
Okay, gimel.
which in the game of dreidel, you would get the pot.
I won.
You
already.
won.
I
You
The
won.
pot would be the coins or whatever.
Yeah, we played with Tootsie Rolls growing up at
Okay.
synagogue. You can play with gelt. You can play with pennies, whatever you have available.
Yeah.
So each one means something different. So the
right.
saying is Nes Gadol Haya Sham.
Okay.
A great miracle happened there.
Okay.
So in Israel, their dreidels actually say Nes Gadol Haya Po. A great miracle happened here.
Here. Yeah.
So it's really cool to see the different dreidels, how one singular item can be different in places.
Yeah.
And so it's just about getting the whole pot, half the pot,
Yeah.
nothing. So our nun is our
Nun,
nothing. It's an easy one.
That's an easy one. I
And-
love. All right, so you keep spinning this. and
Yeah.
You're in a circle with the friends. Okay, here's hay.
Hay is half.
Half. Okay. You get
They made
half
it
the pot.
easy. They made it
Okay.
easy for us, right?
Oh.
Nun, nothing, hay, half.
Yes. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. So this is the dreidel. We all kind of know the dreidels. These are the Hanukkah candles. What are these guys? Right
Those
here?
are my little latke friends.
Just little latke friends. I love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the candles, funny enough, a lot of people don't realize this. There is about 44 or 45 candles in every box.
Okay.
That's how many you need for the holiday.
Because
You only need one box per Hanukkah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, but like each night, if you're lighting one, in theory, that one that you light, it's out the next day, and
Yep.
so you need another one. Okay.
Well, sort of, right? So the first night, you're going to put one on your shamash, which is your taller one. And some of them, it's in the middle.
So in the middle, that's
And
night
sometimes
one.
it's on the side.
Okay.
It can kind of be anywhere. It just needs to be a little bit taller because
Yep.
that one's your helper candle.
Okay.
So you light that one, then you pick that one up and light your other candles.
Gotcha.
So every night you'll have a shamash, and then you'll have your first candle. Then the second night you have your shamash and 2 candles. Third night shamash and 3, and so on. And you always start with your newest night.
Okay.
And a lot of people forget that. We were even talking about it at Saturday school. I teach Shabbat school, and
Yeah.
we're like, who remembers which one do you light? You light your newest night first.
Yeah.
and then you go backwards from there.
Yeah, yeah. What is the significance of each candle mean? Is there a different sort of theme for each of the 8 nights of Hanukkah?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
From my knowledge, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think each night is the same. It's just about spreading light. So maybe you could say a theme is, as the nights go on, your light shines brighter.
Gotcha.
Right? Maybe there's more light in the world as the nights continue.
Yeah.
Whatever interpretation you want to take.
And of course, you light the candles during the nighttime. I know Hanukkah begins this Sunday evening.
Yes.
What's the significance of it beginning in the evening time versus just any time? You know, Christmas morning, you wake up, you run downstairs, and you whack open the presents at 6 or 7 a.m. What's the significance behind the nighttime beginning of Hanukkah?
So the true significance is that every Jewish holiday starts at night. We run on a lunar calendar, so our holidays all begin in the evening.
Yeah.
I would say a great thing for our parents is that they're not being woken up early to go open presents.
Sure, yes.
They get to sleep in a little bit.
Yeah.
But we celebrate at night, and most Hanukkah parties are at night.
Yeah.
A lot of people will gather right around the time that you light. So you light when the sun goes down.
Mm-hmm.
Like this Wednesday, I'm going to a friend's house. And often when you do that, everyone brings their own menorah, your own candles, and everyone lights. So imagine you have 30 people in the room.
all lit up.
Almost all 30 people bring their own, and it's just this burst of light.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You know, you just mentioned earlier that you teach Shabbat school on Saturdays. I know that this isn't directly pertaining to the Hanukkah holiday, but can you tell people what exactly is Shabbat for those that might not know what that is?
Shabbat is a holiday that happens every single week.
Okay.
It is our day of rest.
Yeah.
So it begins Friday night and goes until Saturday night.
Yeah.
We start it by lighting the Shabbat candles.
Yeah.
And we end it by lighting the Havdalah candle or doing the Havdalah ceremony, which is the separation. So it's our little ceremony that says, okay, our day of rest is over. Yeah. We've had about 25 hours to do nothing. And then we move on and separate it from the rest of our week and bring in a good light for our week.
Yeah. So Saturday really if you're looking at the weekly calendar in the Jewish in tradition, Saturday is kind of that's sort of the designated day. And in Christianity, obviously Sunday would be the day, but Saturday would kind of be the day.
Yeah. I think for people who observe it, everybody observes it differently. Mm-hmm. In the winter, Shabbat starts so early, right? So you're lighting candles at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday. Yeah. So they might argue that Friday is...
You're getting pretty close to it right now.
It's pretty close,
yeah.
It's about now. So, but yeah, our Shabbat is our day of rest. Mm-hmm. And I actually just had a great conversation with my students last week about what do they do differently on that day. Yeah. And someone said that's the one day a week they don't do homework.
Oh.
Right? Family said that it's the one day of week where they all spend the time together playing, right? A board game or something that they do at home as a family. Yeah. The rest of your week is so busy that how do you find time? Yeah. So you get this special time to do it.
I love it.
Yeah.
You brought in an assortment of latkes here. Are there any sort of culinary traditions behind Hanukkah that you could find at Cecil's Deli?
So we can find our latkes there. You can find gelts there. You can also, it's a weird culinary tradition. I'm sure it's very Americanized, but we do decorated sugar cookies.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm down with that. Yes.
So you'll have them at Cecil starting on Sunday. Yeah. There's one food tradition that we don't do. Yeah. And we don't do it because we don't have enough space. Oh. But donuts are a huge tradition. Okay. They're called sufganiyot.
Oh, I've heard of these.
Yeah, and those
jelly-filled?
Yes. They're the jelly-filled donuts. Mm-hmm. There's another type of donut called svinge.
Okay.
Not very well known.
Okay.
And svinge comes from more of like the Moroccan history and ancestors. Yeah. And I like making them because they're so much easier. Yeah. You take the same donut recipe, and then instead of cutting them and making them into a perfect circle, you make them whatever shape you want, and you throw it in the oil. Yeah. You take it out, you roll it in cinnamon sugar.
Oh. So good.
And that's it.
So good.
I think it's so much easier than figuring out how to stuff something inside of it.
Sure. Not available at Cecil's.
No, unfortunately. Yeah, we just don't have enough fryers.
Yeah. But you guys got everything else on that menu, though. It's amazing.
Yeah. Come in for the latkes, the sugar cookies, your candles, the boxed potato pancake mix if you really want to do that.
That's right. And Cecil's really, I'm not just saying this to hype it up, it's really, this is the place to go get this stuff in the Twin Cities. Really the only Jewish deli in the Twin Cities.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is Cecil's, it's a one-stop shop. Do you find the foot traffic increases around the Hanukkah holiday as you kind of get closer? Sunday might be a little bit of a busier day.
Sunday will definitely be busier. Yeah. People buying latkes, and then just this time of year, people want comfort food. Yeah. So it's going to be busy. Give yourself extra time if you're going to come in, especially once it gets closer closer to Christmas.
Awesome. Evana, I cannot thank you enough. This friendship that I've developed with you and the people at Cecil's has really been great. And I just think it's so great to learn about other traditions and religions and cultures and traditions because, you kind of hear about these things. And I feel like a lot of people know what a latke is, but they don't know the history of it and the oil. And it goes back to the Maccabees and all the whole history behind it all is just so fascinating to me. And I just think that this stuff is just such important work to be able to talk about things and show how alike we are more than we're different in this divided world. So and in the true Hanukkah spirit, you are a beacon of light.
Thank you.
For the Twin Cities, Evana.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming back on. Go to Cecil's Deli, folks, on Cleveland Avenue in St. Paul. It's one of my favorite spots in the entire Twin Cities. Evana, thanks again.
Thank you.
Awesome. More to come from the afternoon shift after this. We're going to be bringing in my friend Jennifer McDermed. She is a Fox Eye meteorologist talking about all the freezing cold temperatures that are rolling into the Twin Cities this week. Hey, to warm up, go get some matzo ball soup at Cecil's Deli to warm up for the freezing cold temps. Jennifer McDermed will be coming up right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Oh my gosh, you're the best. That was so.
We are back here on the afternoon shift. I wish I was the bearer of good news of weather for this weekend. It's going to be freezing, folks. Here to tell us more about the freezing temps and making her afternoon shift debut is Fox Eye meteorologist and my friend Jennifer McDermed. Jennifer, thank you so much for coming to the afternoon shift. We appreciate it.
This is awesome. Yeah, it took long enough to get the invite.
We've been wanting to make this happen. We really do appreciate you being here. You're such a beacon of light in this office and everything.
Thank you.
A beacon of light for all the viewers out there. I was watching you last night on TV. What got you into meteorology in the first place?
Oh my goodness. Ever since I was a little girl, whatever age it was, maybe 2 or 3, I just fell in love with severe weather. And ever since I was a little girl, that's all I've ever wanted to be.
Yeah.
And so here I am. But I remember when I was in kindergarten, our teachers asked us to draw what you want to be when you grow up. Yeah. So most kids drew a teacher or a nurse or a firefighter. I literally drew a tornado. I told my teacher, I want to be a tornado. Yeah. My parents were like, yeah, she's a bit of a tornado, so it checks out.
Where'd you grow up to do all of this?
In Atchison, Kansas.
Oh, this is the place to grow up for tornadoes. Then.
Absolutely.
This is Dorothy Gale, Wizard of Oz territory.
Wizard of Oz. One year for Halloween, I had the ruby red slippers.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yep.
Are there actual tornadoes in Kansas, unlike kind of any other state? Like, kind of known for that? Yeah.
Yeah, especially growing up. I would chase. I don't condone chasing unless you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
We would chase, me and my other nerd friends, we would chase tornadoes in Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas. Oh. And the biggest one I've ever seen was an EF4 tornado in Lyons, Kansas. And it was March 14th, 2012. Oh, wow. And it was, no one was hurt, no property was destroyed. It was just out there in open land, just doing its thing. And it was unbelievably, I don't want to say it's beautiful because tornadoes are dangerous and whatever, but it just so mesmerizing. Just wow.
You said that was an EF4. What's the highest grade tornado you can have?
EF5.
So this was just one below that.
One below it. And EF5s are pretty rare to the point where you only have a handful per year. Yeah. Maybe if that. Yeah. So they're not handed out, if you will, during the spring season.
It was memorable enough for you to remember the exact date, March 14th, 2012. That's awesome.
Oh,
well, we're all going to remember December 13th, 2025 here in the Twin Cities.
Oh, my goodness.
What's the high? I saw the high is now 2 degrees. We got 1 degree warmer from yesterday. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
It's at 1?
I'm forecasting a high temperature on Saturday of -1.
You heard it here. This is breaking news, Paul. Let's put up that breaking news.
-1.
We're not going to get above 0 tomorrow.
I don't think so. Starting probably this evening, all day tomorrow, Sunday morning, not until Sunday afternoon at about 2 or 3 o'clock, we will be below 0 for actual air temperature. Yeah.
That's actual air temperature.
Actual air temperature. Our wind chills right now are below 0, and we are staying below 0 for wind chills all day Saturday, all day Sunday, into Monday afternoon.
We're below 0 right now as we're speaking.
For wind chill.
For wind chill.
Yes.
For wind chill. And tomorrow, the real temp will never get above -1.
And at our warmest point tomorrow afternoon, the wind chill, at our warmest, the wind chill will be -18.
Oh, my God.
At its warmest.
Yeah. So this is like when it's like this. In all seriousness, here, Jennifer, this is like stay inside unless you absolutely have to go outside, right?
Absolutely. This is if you go outside without gloves or a hat on, you're looking at frostbite in less than 10 minutes. I mean, this is very dangerous stuff.
Yeah.
My husband, we have a little 2-year-old toddler, and he really wants to get him onto some skis. And I'm like, okay, that's awesome. And he said, okay, we're gonna try on Saturday. And I said, no, you're not.
Yeah.
No. It's going to be way too cold, but Tuesday would be a great day to teach a toddler how to maybe put on some skis.
Yeah.
Because Tuesday, our highs will be in the upper 30s.
So how can it just fluctuate like that?
Oh,
How can
my
it go
gosh.
from -1 to the 30s in 48 hours, essentially.
It's basically this polar vortex up in the northern parts of the world. And what happened is that it's weakening to the point where it's able to kind of spill down into the continental U.S. But once it tightens back up, it'll shoo back up towards the northern latitudes, up towards northern parts of Alaska, for example. But the jet stream it really kind of drives what's going to happen in our weather at the upper layers of our atmosphere. So it's just going to dip down, expose us to that polar vortex, and then it's going to go back up, and we're going to see our temperatures go back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one fascinating thing when the weather gets this cold is you really don't see a lot of snow actually coming down. Is that
right?
Is that just kind of an urban legend, or is this true?
Well, when it's this cold, it can be really, really dry.
Yeah.
And so it's really hard for the atmosphere to kind of put together some moisture to allow us to have precipitation, whether, it's snow or rain, whatever it may be. So with it being pretty dry, with these cold temperatures, it's hard to squeeze out snowflakes. And typically when it gets this cold, it's due to an Arctic high pressure system. And high pressure typically doesn't bring in precipitation.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And that's why I guess on Tuesday when it did snow a ton,
Yes.
it wasn't, and listen, this is a Southern Californian saying this, it wasn't that cold. It was in the low 30s. It wasn't freezing like it is right now because the temperature when it's warmer like that has a higher percentage of precipitation that can get in the system there.
More moisture content. Yeah. And then on Tuesday, we also had this Alberta Clipper. So basically what that means is this fast-moving low-pressure system comes out of Canada, and it just whips on by. But that low-pressure system is what allows that mechanism for lift and energy in our atmosphere. The dynamics are more in play for precipitation.
Yeah. Gosh, such fascinating stuff.
It is. It really is.
Is this weekend? Are you on? You working
I'm
this
on.
weekend?
I'm on tonight, and I'm on tomorrow night.
This is your Super Bowl, pretty much. This
It
weekend.
really
Yeah,
is.
Yeah.
So I want to say it was like 2 weeks ago. The weather was just so boring, and it's nice when the weather's boring. But oh my gosh, if a meteorologist is bored, the weather's nice.
Fair enough.
Yeah. When we're excited, then it's like, okay, what are we stirring up here?
I love it. I'm excited to watch it this weekend.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people at home know you from a very viral moment. It took off nationally, internationally, really.
Yeah.
Let's take a look back at this moment here of Jennifer. What year was this, Jennifer? I know a lot of people. It's the old Fox 9 logo that we've got going on.
I want to say that was in it was either April or May of 2021. Yeah, oh my gosh.
You're standing at the green screen.
Yes.
What happened here?
So what happened was I had a live camera behind me that was supposed to show like downtown Minneapolis or something. But that camera was routed to where it was showing me.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of like echoing.
Yeah.
It was just, yeah. And so that's why you see just like copies of me being displayed everywhere. But at that moment,
progressively bigger. Like you just seem to be getting bigger every single time, every version of it. It's just.
It was wild. And I remember that day I was in a bad mood.
Oh.
I was in a bad mood. And then that happened, I believe, during the 10 p.m. news. And it immediately, I know it's the end of the day, but it immediately just made me laugh. I'm like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
And so then I thought it was pretty funny. So I texted my mom, and I'm like, oh my God, this really funny thing happened to me. I showed it, I saved the clip, and I showed it to her, and she was like, oh my God, are you going to get in trouble for that? It's like, no, I don't think so. I couldn't control it.
Right.
But then I went to bed that night, and the next morning, my phone was just like zing, 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 zing. Just, it was nuts. It just took off. It was wild.
Yeah.
It was on Jimmy Fallon, the Today, or not the Today Show, but the morning show on ABC, Good Morning America.
Yep.
It was on the Today Show. Yeah. It was with Al Roker.
Al Roker reference.
Yeah, yep.
That's incredible.
So it just took off.
Yeah. Are you still seeing that? Just kind of like when you scroll on Instagram or Twitter, you'll see kind of pop up every now and then.
Or every once in a while, I'll get someone that will tweet at me or comment on Instagram like, "Hey, look, your video is out and about again." And so it still lives. It's still it's slowly hanging on, but it's still every once in a while it flares up.
So cool. And what a career moment for you. Hey Jennifer, why don't you take us through your career? Where have been some of the career stops that you've had before here?
Okay, so first I went to Des Moines, Iowa. I worked at WHO 13, and I was there for 2 years, and I fell in love with Iowa. I mean, I'm a Midwest girl, but I really did like Iowa. They treated me really well. Yeah. And then after there, I went down to Kansas City, which is kind of where I'm from. I'm from a small town about an hour and a half outside of Kansas City.
Now, you definitely more identify with Kansas City than St. Louis. That's, yes. 100%. Okay,
yes.
Gotcha.
So I went to undergrad in St. Louis.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
You went to
SLU. Roll Bills. Let's go Bills.
Billiken. All right.
Yep,
that's a Jesuit school.
It is.
Yes, it sure is.
It is.
Yeah.
Love me some Jesuits.
Yes.
Jesuits are fantastic. They're the best.
What's your favorite order on the Hill in St. Louis? This is Italian food, everybody.
Oh my God.
Fantastic Italian food.
I mean, I gotta say, the toasted wraps pretty fantastic in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Once you get a bite, you're like, yep, I'm hooked.
That's the official city food of the city of St. Louis. Definitely. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's all good. But so after Des Moines, I moved down to Kansas City, and I worked at KMBC for a couple of years. So it was nice to be home, and my family, they liked watching me on the channel that I grew up watching. Yeah. So that was really cool. But then I came up here. I was kind of like, okay, I'm not done. I want to explore a little bit. Yeah. So I came up here in 2018, and I fell in love with Minnesota. The Boundary Waters are one of my favorite places to go. I've been dying to go to the Apostle Islands, which is on the Wisconsin side, but been dying to go there. And Minnesota just is so outdoorsy, and I love that. Yeah. And I do like snow. Yeah. And down in Kansas, it snows, but it's not guaranteed. We're up here, it's a little more.
No doubt.
Yeah, a little more guaranteed that we're gonna get some snow.
Yeah, Minnesota too. Weather-wise, it's such a flexuous state because you could catch 100 degrees in July, and then now we're in December and we're catching negative 20. With wind chill. So it's fun for a meteorologist. I mean, you go to Los Angeles and it's just the same.
It's just one season, and it's just a concrete jungle. Yeah. Sorry to people who like LA.
Yes.
Clearly not my favorite. Teach their own.
Yes. Yeah. You know the red dress that you got going on there. You said you're from Kansas City. You a Chiefs fan? Is that your team?
Big.
What's up with the Chiefs? What's up with them?
Oh my gosh, I hate doing this, but I have to. Their record is 6-7.
Oh,
6-7. 6-7.
You did it. You literally did it.
I had to. Oh, I don't know what's going on.
A 6-7 record through 13. Is that going to make the playoffs?
No. We'll have to win out. Yeah. And if the Chiefs win every single game from here on out, which includes the Chargers and the Broncos and Raiders, easy. Knock on wood.
They beat y'all at Christmas a couple years ago? I think they did.
That was 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah.
I remember I had just given birth, and I had my little baby boy all decked out in Chiefs gear. Yeah. And we sat there on Christmas Day and watched the Chiefs lose to the Raiders. And I thought, what is happening? This is not okay. But yeah, big Chiefs fan, and with their record not looking good. There's a very small chance that they could get into the playoffs, but
sure. Yeah. Do you ever make it to when the Royals come to town to play the Twins, the AL Central
every year?
That's your squad. You're a Royals fan.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm very passionate about football. Baseball, I'm a little more relaxed. Twins are cool. I can get on board with Twins, but Royals, they're my number one. Yeah. But every year when the Royals come up here, I have family that come up that comes up. So and we'll watch the Royals play the Twins. Yeah. And then whenever the Twins are in Kansas City, I try to go down to watch the Twins
Yeah.
and the Royals.
I've been to Kansas City one time, Jennifer. I went to Joe's Barbecue. This is inside a gas station,
Yes.
folks. And it's world renowned, but I was going to ask, is that the best barbecue in Kansas City?
My family loves Jack Stack.
Okay.
Joe's barbecue is amazing.
Sure.
Don't get me wrong, that is a hot item.
Yeah.
But my family, we always go to Jack Stack and Arthur Bryant's Q39. Q39 is a little more recent, within the past like 15 years, I think. But it has taken off.
Yeah.
Taken off. So yeah, there's a lot of barbecue
What's
around
your
Kansas
order?
City.
What's your order?
Well, so I'm not much of a carnivore.
Okay.
So I usually get like a salad or like
come
potatoes.
on, in Kansas City, it's a salad.
I know.
Not the ribs or the pulled pork.
I'm so bad.
What's the deal?
I'm so bad.
Some chicken?
I know. I'm not a big
sausage?
meat person,
Yeah.
but my entire family is.
Yeah.
And so they're just kind of like, what's wrong with you? Like, where did you come from?
Right.
You chase tornadoes and you don't eat meat.
Yeah.
There's something a little loose in the brain.
Yeah. I love Kansas City barbecue. I really do. Jennifer, we got to get you on the afternoon shift more often. This was great. It was a nice get to know you. And like I said, freezing cold temps. Tell the people again, well, what's the high temperature tomorrow?
High temperature tomorrow is -1. And at its warmest tomorrow, it will feel like -18 with a wind chill.
Oh, boy.
At its warmest.
Yeah. You can do what I'm going to do tomorrow, and that's just stay inside all day. All day.
Sit next to the fireplace.
Yes.
Watch some movies.
Yep.
That's a good day to do that.
Can't go wrong. Jennifer, thank you so
wait.
much. Yes.
I have a question for you.
Oh, okay. No, this is fun.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Notre Dame football.
Oh gosh. We're going here.
Yeah.
Listen. It's a little disappointing. I'm disappointed in the committee.
Yeah.
Because they ranked us in the top 12 every single week. Every single week we're in the top 12. And then when we're idle, and Miami's also idle, then they flip us. And listen, Miami deserved it more than us. But Alabama, and I get it, you don't want to penalize them for playing in an SEC championship game. I get that. But they got Wall up there. They hadn't looked good for the last 5 weeks. So for them to put us in over them, not so great. I and this isn't going to come across great, and I get that. But I agree with the school's decision to sit out the bowl game.
Yeah.
The bowl games have essentially become like the NIT tournament. And you probably know
really
KU.
has.
You're KU basketball. You speak the language.
Excuse me.
You
No, I'm not.
Oh, you're not KU basketball.
Wow, we are not friends. Goodbye.
You're not Rock Hawk Jayhawk.
I'm EMAW, K-State.
K-State. Oh, okay.
Kansas
All right.
State
All right.
Wildcats.
The Wildcats. All right.
And they're sitting out. I think this year too. They
did
said
sit
no.
out.
Yeah.
And Iowa State too, I think.
Yes, they did.
But it's like the NIT, and K-State's a big the Little Apple, Manhattan, Kansas.
Yes,
it's a proud basketball school, and it's like, it's just like the NIT, and so it's all embarrassing. Not as embarrassing as our friends in Ann Arbor, but we're not going to get into it. We're not going to get into any of that. And I do love Ann Arbor.
That is some intense stuff going on in Ann Arbor.
Very strange stuff happening in Ann Arbor. Not as strange as the weather that we've got coming up this weekend. And, Jennifer, you're a real treat. Thank you so much for coming to the afternoon shift. We really do it. We got to make this a more regular.
Yeah, I would love that.
Awesome. Jennifer, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thank you. More to come from the afternoon shift after this. Welcome back here to the afternoon shift. We have had a heck of a 4 o'clock hour between Evana Hershkowitz from Cecil's Deli with all the Hanukkah tradition, customs, and traditions that they've got going on, and Jennifer McDermed of the Fox 9 meteorologist. You'll be seeing her all weekend long. She's forecasting a high temperature tomorrow of -1. That's the high temperature, folks. -1 with wind chills getting down to, I don't know, around -20 potentially. Bundle up and stay inside, folks. Okay, earlier.
You know where it's not going to be -20?
Where's that? Oh, yeah.
Bondi Beach.
Yeah. Of Of course, Australia, where Paul is going to tomorrow. A 6 o'clock flight to one of my favorite cities in the world. That's not Los Angeles, or that's not Australia. He's going to Los Angeles
I was gonna
first.
say, I didn't think you'd been to Sydney.
I've never been to say. I have been to LAX quite a few times.
Like LA, you would love Sydney.
Probably.
It's beautiful.
But
I can't
definitely.
wait. The countdown is on.
Yeah.
The countdown is well and truly on.
Yeah, you're about 25 hours away. You're not too far. You're not too far.
Ah, can't wait. Fish and chips on Bondi Beach. A really good coffee. Oh, I sound like Adam Llorens. Talking about food in a city.
Hey, we're about to eat. We're about to chow down on some latkes after we're done with the show
you didn't
today.
bring any latkes in for me.
No, we say there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. Don't you worry.
Latke of them.
And everybody at home, go get your latkes from Cecil's Deli on Cleveland Avenue. They're exceptional. They really are. That's a good transition. Let's stay in the city of St. Paul here. We're going to go back to that press conference from Governor Walz. Of course, he introduced Tim O'Malley, the state's first director of program integrity, that it's going to crack down on Minnesota-based fraud. Let's hear from Mr. O'Malley.
Yeah, so I just want to say, to give the audience some perspective, I cut out of it earlier because I thought that Tim O'Malley might talk for a long time. Turns out he's a man of a few words, so he will actually only be speaking for a short bit. If we have time, we'll go back and we'll play the entire thing back for the whole segment. So Adam, just set it up again for me while I cue the clip.
Absolutely. Like I said, earlier today, Governor Tim Walz held a press conference announcing that Tim O'Malley will serve as the state's first director of program integrity to crack down on Minnesota-based fraud. We just heard earlier in the show today from Governor Walz, and now let's hear from Mr. O'Malley, the state's first head of program integrity. Let's take a look.
Good morning. There's a lot to cover today, so I'll be brief, but I do want to offer two thoughts. One is an observation and one is a point of clarity. The observation is the obvious one. No one has any tolerance for fraud. It's a widespread problem in Minnesota and across our country. It erodes trust and must be addressed head-on. Minnesotans deserve to know that their tax dollars are being put to good use, and they deserve to know that they can trust our public institutions. We have work cut out for us to rebuild that trust. The point of clarification, while I'm honored that Governor Walz has asked me to assist in combating fraud here, know that I'm not here to serve him. I'm not here to serve any individual, and I'm not here to serve a political party. I'm here to serve Minnesotans. Years ago, I served Minnesotans through an appointment by Governor Tim Pawlenty, and I now welcome the opportunity to do so under Governor Walz. Lastly, I'm convinced that this team in front of you and the governor are serious. He has assured me privately that all of us have the freedom and autonomy to act, to do whatever is necessary to solve this. Again, I'm grateful for the opportunity. I'm excited to get started. Thank you.
Yeah, I was going to say, what I find particularly interesting about this is his firm stance on how he does not work for the governor. He is not. It feels like it's been a while that we've seen someone sort of take that firm line of I'm going to remain really independent on this. Earlier today, when we played back the press conference from earlier, Governor Walz even mentioned that Tim took the press release and had it rewritten so that it would actually be in his voice, in his tone, to really set it from the outset that he is going to remain independent and he does not answer to the governor. He is going to be doing it to keep everything above board. And I think that's a really interesting and, with fraud, I guess, incredibly important stance to be taking. You have to wonder as well. Obviously, when we started here at Fox 9 back in February, there was so much conversation around the Feeding Our Futures. Remember that? It felt like in every news conference, or news meeting we were in, it almost felt like Feeding Our Futures was coming up constantly. Obviously, the recent revelations about fraud as well, and you wonder that now having this czar, which again I'd love to do an entire segment on just like what constitutes someone being a czar versus some sort of other title. But you have to wonder if this is going to uncover any more sort of fraud within the state, and then not just kind of putting an end to it, but is it going to actually dig out some stuff that's been festering underneath the surface? Who knows?
Go to the weekend and sign off right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back here to the afternoon shift. We are about to sign off in about 3 minutes. Paul, I'm going to throw you a little bit of a curveball. Today is the 110th birthday of perhaps my favorite singer of all time, Mr. Frank Sinatra. You got a favorite Sinatra song there, Paul?
Oh, you're really putting me on the spot. I don't actually think I know one off the top of my head. I know that he was called Old Blue Eyes.
That's Old Blue Eyes, the chairman of the board. You don't have a favorite Sinatra song? Luck be a lady tonight. Come on, you don't know any of these?
That is from Guys and Dolls, the musical that's happening at Chanukah.
Or how about someday when I'm awfully low?
To sing on the show. I think we need to, and I do apologize for that last segment that you only heard my side of the conversation with Adam there. Technical difficulties. Maybe it's my holiday brain. I'm not entirely sure, but I do apologize for that. Adam had wonderful things to say, which you won't get to hear now.
I was talking all about Frank Sinatra and how he was born in beautiful Hoboken, New Jersey, and he passed away in Beverly Hills, but really made Palm Springs his home for most of his adult life. Of course, had a big thing in Las Vegas with the Rat Pack and the whole deal. A real American icon, not just a singer, but an actor, a performer, a diehard Los Angeles Dodger baseball fan. Frank Sinatra, born on this day, 110 years ago. How about that?
Well, there you go. 100. Well, how long did you say? 110.
110 years ago today. I know.
Wow, I would never have guessed that.
I know. Go listen to the Sinatra Christmas album.
I'm sure it's great.
It's
I
fantastic.
think the thing is, did he ever have any originals? He kind of just covered a whole bunch of stuff.
I mean, no. A lot of those songs. I mean, a lot of the songs were written by the Great American Songbook and whatever. But and correct me if I'm wrong out there, ladies and gentlemen. But I think he had a hand in the writing of the theme from New York, New York, which, of course, you know this song. Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today.
Yes,
I think he had a hand in writing that. Maybe if I'm wrong, you can somebody can correct me. My Way is another one of his big songs. I think he wrote that song too. I could be wrong.
We'll see. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I know that he sort of sang those really big, sort of Broadway-esque
big band songs. Yeah.
Mac the Knife. Did he sing Mac the Knife?
No, I haven't.
Have you heard? No, that's a great song. You should listen to that at some point. I'm just keeping half an eye on the clock because obviously we've got the 5 o'clock news coming up soon.
That's right, with Karen and Simone.
It is Karen and Simone tonight. They are in the chair, ready to go, ready to take over the baton and actually bring you some hard-hitting news. I know that we have a lot of fun on this show, but these guys are going to... And Jennifer is currently at the desk. She'll be on. There she is. She's posing for a photo with Simone, and you guys are not going to see that, but that's happening behind the scenes.
Well, because now she's a celebrity because she was on the afternoon shift. She was on the afternoon shift.
Simone wanted a photo with her. Yeah, that's exactly right. So we actually have 15 seconds left, so I'm going to say goodbye, and I'll see you when I get back from Australia.
Thank you, Paul. We'll see you when you get back. And for the entire afternoon shift team here, we work so hard to bring you the news every single day. We appreciate you joining us. We will be back on Monday, December 15th. Stay inside, everybody.